Welcome to my channel. At the moment it's a real orchid mess here, because all warm growing orchids that were outside for summer had to come in, and on top of that I got an unexpected box from the Orchid SaGa in the early evening yesterday. Last week, suddenly day and night temperatures went down overnight outside, and I had to bring all my warm growing orchids indoors for winter. And while I'm sorting them out, looking where to place what, doing repots or mounts where necessary, orchids are placed all over the place. So at the moment it's a real orchid mess here. Hopefully, in a few days, everything will be back to quite normal and I just have to take on their daily care again. I also need to update my orchid spreadsheet and see what didn't make it, which ones are repotted and when, and try to finally get an overview of how many orchids I still have, but I know it'll be way too many. My orchid list spreadsheet is quite extensive and it holds a lot of valuable information about the plants in my collection, but most importantly, where and when they came from and when they were last repotted or mounted and what media I used. Yesterday, October 18th, was a day where nothing seemed to go as I should, and on top of that, in the early evening, a box from the Orchid SaGa arrived. So on top of all the shuffling, I had to do an unboxing video for you. Well, it was a nice birthday surprise for me. So let's see what Eelke sent me. Two divisions of two different orchid genera. We talked about them in the past and Eelke said that he would send me some divisions when the plants would start growing, some new side shoots, but I never expected this to come so soon. By the way, it's an Epidendrum and a Miltonia. Something I always do when potting up or mounting new orchids, these will get a soak in a weak seaweed solution for approximately 1 hour. This will perk the plants up and give them a little boost. Because Eelke warned me that the Miltonia has had a fusarium infection in the past, but was treated for it, and most likely with good success, because his plant is growing like a weed. I still want to keep it separate from my other orchids, and so these two plants also will be soaking in separate pots. And after well over an hour, it's time to pot up the new babies. Since Eelke grows all his orchids in semi-hydro, these plants are used to being wet at the roots practically all the time, so I will be adjusting them slowly to my drier growing conditions. The size of the little decorative pot the Epidendrum is in seems to be a good size to let it adjust and grow on until a new repot is necessary. And because it's used to having wet feet, I will pot it up in a mix of small and medium bark and pumice. I found a pot that fits perfectly, so I can leave some water in the bottom and slowly let it get used to drier growing conditions and the different growing media. Because the roots have been soaking, they are quite flexible, so they bend easily when I put the plant into its pot. I was wondering if it'll need a stake to stand up correctly until it's well established, and at first it didn't seem to, but when watering the plant started wobbling, so I secured it with a stake for now. Although the Miltonia is just one bulb with a new growth, I think it'll take off as soon as it's established. And before potting it, I remove the dried sheet from the back bulb. Potting this one up, I'm going for a different approach. Miltonias love humid conditions with a lot of moisture around their roots, so I took a piece of fern root, cut it through in the middle, and I'll place the division between the two halves. Then it will be placed in the pot, and I will fill up the gaps with the same media as for the Epidendrum. Then I'll place the bonsai pot into a plastic container that I fill up with water by pouring it on the media from above. And again, I will let it soak so all the media becomes waterlogged, and then I can slowly adjust it to a bit more drier growing conditions. However, Miltonias don't like it when their roots go completely dry for a longer period. They need to be watered regularly. And now, let's just take a quick look to the new additions from a bit closer. Thanks for watching and see you next time.